Russia announces temporary ceasefire in the two cities after 10 days of bloody war in Ukraine. The BNP has become fully isolated from the people claimed Hanif Awami League created abnormal situations at folk rule. Bangladesh recorded 13 deaths from COVID-19 in a day, toll raised to 29,077. And weather may remain mainly dry with partly cloudy sky over the country, forecasted Met Office. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Mytv News. I'm Farhan Ismail within the newsroom today watching headlines. Now the details. Russia said its forces had stopped firing near two Ukrainian cities on Saturday to allow safe passage to civilians for fighting, but was continuing its broad offensive in Ukraine. But the capital, Kiev, came under renewed assault. The Russian Defense Ministry said its unit had opened humanitarian corridors near the cities of Mariupol and Volnovakha, which were encircled by its troops. Russia RIN news agency reported the Mariupol citizen would be allowed to leave during a 5-hour window. It quoted the city's official was saying the Ukrainian government said that the plan was to evacuate around 2 lakh people from Mariupol and 15,000 from Volnovakha and the Red Cross in the ceasefire guarantor. There was no immediate confirmation that the firing had stopped, and it was not clear if the ceasefire would be extended to other areas as the Russian invasion of Ukraine entered into the 10th day. The Russian Defense Ministry said a broad offensive would continue in Ukraine, RIS said.
Heard from people here in Poland is that
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky lashed NATO on a Friday for ruling out a no-fly zone over the country, saying the Western military alliance knew further Russian aggression was likely. He condemned the NATO decision as weak and confusing. Russia, meanwhile, he has stepped up the attack on Ukraine. Yasser Arafat with more details.
Look at some of the destruction that is happening.
While Russia is launching a series of missiles and airstrikes and occupying the city, Zelensky is not getting any support from his Western allies, despite much speculation. It's time. NATO also made clear its refusal to establish a no-fly zone in Ukraine. Zelensky called on NATO to declare Ukraine's skies a no-fly zone to prevent Russian strikes, but NATO refused to comply.
Allies agree that we should not have NATO planes operating over Ukrainian airspace or NATO troops on Ukraine.
The decision was taken at a NATO summit on Friday. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken told a NATO summit that a direct ban to aviation in Ukraine could lead to a direct war in Europe.
This alliance came together with speed, with unity, with determination.
Outraged by the NATO decision, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned NATO summit as weak and confusing. From today, those who are going to die will die because of you, said Zelensky, who was helpless to address NATO leaders.
Decided not to close the sky over Ukraine.
Meanwhile, Singapore is set to impose sanctions on Russia as a rare step in the wake of the Ukraine attack. Under the sanction, they will take steps to control exports as well as restrict the transactions of several Russian banks.
Singapore intends to act in concert with many other like-minded countries to impose appropriate sanctions.
On the other hand, heavy fighting is taking place in the northern, eastern and southern parts of Ukraine. The United States has also said that Russia is close to capturing another nuclear power plant. Yasser Arafat, MyTV News Desk.
There is no chance for BNP to come to power even in 50 years that it has isolated from people, says Awami League Joint General Secretary Mahbubul Alam Hanif. He said this at extended meeting of the district Awami League in Brahmanbaria today. He said the BNP is misleading the people by lying because their aim is to hinder the development of the country. Awami League has created an abnormal situation in the country, says BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. He was speaking at a function organized by the Jatiyotawadi Health Cell at the Dhaka Reporters Unity today. Fakhrul said the list of administrative officials who are suing the BNP workers without any guilt will be punished. The BNP Secretary General also called upon all leaders and workers to be ready for the movement. Bangladesh has recorded 13 deaths from COVID-19 in a day, taking the toll from the disease to 29,077. The caseload rose by 368 in 24 hours to 1,19,46,737 according to the latest government data released on Saturday. As many as 17,463 samples were tested across the country for a positivity rate of 2.11%. Another 4,018 people recovered from the illness nationwide, bringing the total number of the recoveries to 18,39,998. The latest figure put the recovery rate at 94.52% and the mortality rate is 1.49%. Bangladesh Meteorological Department today forecasted through its bulletin that the weather may remain mainly dry with a partly cloudy sky over the country in the next 24 hours. Besides, day and night temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country. The country's maximum temperature on Friday was recorded by 35 degrees Celsius at Teknaf in the Chittagong division, and the minimum temperature today was recorded by 12.7 degrees Celsius at Srimangal in the Sylhet division. Viewers, now international news. North Korea has test-fired ballistic missile again. This is the 9th time this year that the country has fired a test missile. A missile was fired off the country's east coast on Saturday. The missile was launched from the Sunan area near the North Korean capital. Pyongyang reported CNN. Pyongyang conducted the test again with issues such as the presidential election in neighboring South Korea and the Chinese Paralympics in mind. South Korea Joint Chiefs of Staff say the South Korean military is monitoring their activities. Conflict between states has not spared Russian cats this time. In the wake of the war with Ukraine, many countries around the world have already imposed sanctions on Russia, including economic sanctions. Following this, the sword of prohibition fell on the Russian cats. Zubair Rahman has more.
In the midst of the Ukraine-Russia war, many countries and international organizations are imposing various sanctions on Russia. This time, the Russian cat was added to the list of bans. An organization called Federation International Feline has imposed a temporary ban on Russian cats in retaliation for the war. According to them, the ban will remain in force till May 31. Then the next step will be taken considering the situation. Feline organizes various exhibitions and competitions with cats in different countries of the world. Authorities say no Russian cats will be allowed to take part in any exhibitions outside Russia. And last but not the least, Russian cats outside of Russia will no longer be registered in the pedigree of the Federation. The board also said that a budget would be provided to help cat owners in Ukraine to help people in the current situation. Many countries, including the United States, Britain, Canada, and the European Union, have imposed sanctions, including condemnation of Russia, since the Russian military launched a military operation against Ukraine on February 24th. Innocent cat species could not escape from its hands. Zubair Rahman, MyTV News Desk.
We are about to end the headlines once again. Russia announces temporary ceasefire in the two cities after 10 days of bloody war in Ukraine. BNP has become fully isolated from the people, claimed Hanif Awam Malik created abnormal situation, said Fakhrul. Bangladesh recorded 13 deaths from COVID-19 in a day, total raised to 29,077. And weather may remain mainly dry with a partly cloudy sky over the country, forecasted Met Office. North Korea has tested 5 ballistic missiles again. It was launched from the Sudan area near the capital. Afghanistan are chasing a target of 116 runs set by the Tigers. Thanks for being with us. To join with MyTV News online, visit YouTube/MyTV News. To watch all our programs, visit YouTube/MyTV Bangla, Facebook/MyTV Bangla. Our next bulletin will be telecast 7:30 p.m. Stay connected and Allah Hafiz.